You do not have belly fat because you eat too much. You have it because your liver has stopped processing energy properly. And the most frightening part is, it may have been happening for years, but you had no idea. Most people think the liver is just a filter, something that processes alcohol, drugs, toxins, and that is it. But if you are still thinking that way, you are completely misunderstanding how your body works. The liver is not a filter. The liver is the metabolic control center every second. It is making a very important decision whether the energy you consume will be burned or locked away and stored. According to standard physiology textbooks, the liver performs more than 500 different functions, but you do not need to remember all of them. You only need to understand 3 main things the liver does every day. First, it controls blood sugar every time you eat. Blood sugar rises. The liver absorbs it and stores it as glycogen. Second, it decides when you burn fat. If the signals are correct, it releases energy from fat. If the signals are wrong, it shuts that process down. Third, it processes and transports fat. If overloaded, it begins to store fat right inside itself. And this is what most people do not know. According to the World Health Organization, 1 in 3 adults has fat in the liver. No pain, no symptoms, no clear signs. But inside, the liver is changing. You can recognize this without any tests. You eat and feel sleepy. Your energy goes up and down unpredictably. You feel hungry again very quickly, even though you just ate a few hours ago. That is not a lack of willpower. That is a sign your metabolic system is out of balance. The liver operates based on signals, not emotions, not motivation, not discipline, only biological signals. When insulin is high, the liver switches to storage mode. When insulin is low, the liver switches to energy release mode. The problem is, in modern life, that signal almost never turns off. You do not need to overeat to damage your liver. You just need to never give it a chance to rest. And this is where things become interesting. Because when you stop eating for a few hours, your liver does not become weaker. It begins to shift into a completely different mode. A mode that most people have never experienced. And that is where real recovery begins. Part 1, the problem is not what you eat. It is that you never stop eating. You just heard that the liver only responds to signals, not willpower, not discipline, and the strongest signal is insulin. Look at a very normal eating day. In the morning, you drink coffee, maybe with sugar and milk. Mid-morning, a small snack. Lunch, a main meal. In the afternoon, another snack. Dinner. You eat again. And sometimes, a little something before bed. You are not overeating in one sitting, but you are doing something more dangerous. You never stop sending the store energy signal to your body. According to the National Institutes of Health, insulin is not just a hormone that controls blood sugar. It is a biological switch. When insulin rises, the body understands one thing. There is food. Store it. At this moment, the liver stops burning fat. Fat is retained in the cells. Excess energy begins to convert into triglycerides. The danger is not that insulin rises. The danger is insulin never drops low enough. Every time you eat, The liver will absorb glucose, convert it into glycogen for storage, but the liver can only store a limited amount. When storage is full, the excess will be converted into fat. Some is transported out, but some is stored right inside the liver, and if this repeats every day, fat begins to accumulate, not on the outside, but on the inside. You can eat healthy, low sugar, low fat, low calories. But if you eat continuously throughout the day, you still keep insulin high almost all the time. And when insulin is high, your body cannot burn fat efficiently. This is why many people say, I eat very little, but I still cannot lose belly fat. Or, I eat clean, but my body does not change. The problem is not the food. It is the frequency of the signals you send to your liver. Your liver is not lazy. It is doing exactly what you are asking it to do. You eat insulin. Rises, it stores. You eat again. It continues to store. It has no opportunity to switch into a different mode. But when you stop eating long enough, something very different begins to happen. Insulin drops, another hormone rises, and your liver begins to do what it was designed to do from the beginning, release energy instead of storing it. This is the turning point. And that moment opens the door to true fat burning. Part 2. The transition moment. Your body starts burning fat for real. You just saw the problem? It is not that you are eating wrong. It is that you never stop eating long enough for your body to switch modes. And when you stop long enough, something begins to change. Around 6 to 8 hours after your last meal, insulin starts to drop. Your body no longer receives the store energy signal, and at that point, another hormone rises, glucagon. If insulin is the storage switch, then glucagon is the release switch. Glucagon signals the liver, take energy from storage and use it. The liver begins to break down glycogen, release glucose into the bloodstream, keep the brain functioning steadily. This is the transition phase. You may feel slightly hungry, mild difficulty, concentrating slightly irritable, but these are not dangerous signs. These are signs your body is switching states. After around 8 to 12 hours, glycogen stores in the liver begin to run low. And at that point, the body is forced to do something different. According to studies from Johns Hopkins University, this is called metabolic switching. That means switching from burning glucose to burning fat. When glycogen is no longer sufficient, the body begins to take fat from fat, tissue, convert it into fatty acids, transport it to the liver. And the liver does something very special. It converts fatty acids into ketones. Ketones are not an emergency mode. They are a cleaner form of fuel. The heart can use them. Muscles can use them. The brain also begins to adapt to use them. Many people think fasting means the body is under stress. But in reality, your body is designed to function this way. For most of human history, no one ate 5 to 6 meals a day. The body is used to periods of eating, periods of not eating. And this is what surprises many people. After around 10 to 12 hours, hunger does not increase. It decreases. Energy becomes more stable. The mind becomes clearer, not because you are tolerating it better, but because your physiology has changed. This is the most important thing you need to understand. You do not burn fat because you exercise more. You burn fat when your body has no other choice but to use fat. But this is only the first step. Switching to fat burning is not the most powerful part. After around 12 to 16 hours, a deeper mechanism begins to activate. Not about burning energy, but about cellular repair. And that is where everything truly changes. Part 3, autophagy. Your body starts repairing itself. You just saw your body switch to burning fat. But fat burning is still not the most important part. What truly changes the game happens after that. Around 12 to 16 hours after you stop eating, your body is not just looking for energy, it begins to clean. Not in the way you think, but at the cellular level. This process is called autophagy, discovered by Yoshinori Osumi and awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine 2016. Simply translated self-eating. It sounds negative, but in reality, this is the most intelligent survival mechanism of the body. Inside each of your liver cells, there are many things slowly breaking down over time. Faulty proteins, degraded enzymes, inefficient mitochondria. When you eat continuously, the body prioritizes growth and storage, not repair. But when you stop eating, a different signal is activated. Two systems change. mTOR decreases associated with growth. AMPK increases associated with conservation and repair. And when this happens, autophagy is turned on. Imagine a factory. For years, machines run continuously. No maintenance. No cleaning. Eventually, performance declines. Errors increase. Autophagy like stopping the production line, removing damaged parts, recycling materials, rebuilding a better system in the liver. There is a special form, lipophagy. It does not burn subcutaneous fat. It does not make you lean immediately. It does something harder, breaking down fat stored inside liver cells. Small fat droplets are degraded, converted into energy, and gradually disappear. You cannot activate this process by detox, drinks, supplements, or a healthy meal. It only happens when the body does not receive additional energy for long enough. When autophagy is active, it is not just liver fat that decreases, but cells become more efficient. New mitochondria are created. Inflammation levels decrease. You are not just losing weight. You are rejuvenating your metabolic system. This is what most people do not understand. You do not need to add anything to your body to become healthier. Sometimes you need to stop adding more. But the important question is, does this actually create measurable change? Or is it just theory? In a few weeks, can the liver truly improve? Or is it all just a feeling? Part for real, evidence your liver actually changes. You just saw the mechanism. Autophagy, lipophagy. Energy switching. It sounds very convincing. But the important question is, does this actually happen in real life? Or only exist in the laboratory? If you only feel better, that is not enough. We need something measurable. Blood. Markers. Imaging. And this is where science becomes clear. Studies in cell metabolism and JAMA Network Open show, after about 4 to 12 weeks of applying an eating window, such as 16 to 8, liver fat can decrease by 10 to 30%. Not a feeling, but measured by MRI and ultrasound. Two important markers. Alt-AST. When the liver is under stress or inflamed, they increase in the blood, but in clinical trials, people who apply intermittent fasting tend to show reductions in these markers. That means inflammation in the liver is decreasing. When liver fat decreases, a chain reaction occurs. Blood triglycerides decrease. Insulin decreases. Insulin sensitivity increases. The liver no longer misreads signals. It becomes more precise, put the whole process together. You stop eating insulin, decreases. Insulin decreases. Fat is released. Fat is released. The liver processes it. The liver processes it. Liver fat decreases. And when liver fat decreases, the entire metabolic system begins to function properly. Again, this is not rapid weight loss, not detox or a miracle method. This is resetting the system. A person who previously ate for 14 to 16 hours every day, constantly felt hungry, gradually developed. A larger belly lab tests began to worsen. Then they did not change much. They only did one thing, created a sufficiently long non-eating window each day. After a few weeks, they no longer felt constantly hungry. Energy became stable. Waist size, decreased lab results improved. Not because they tried harder, but because their system changed. Your liver does not need to be fixed. It needs to be released from a state of constant overload. And this is the most important part. If you understand all of this, then the question is, no longer is intermittent fasting good, but how will you apply it effectively without causing your body to backfire? Part 5, how to apply it correctly, not fasting longer, but sending the right signal. You have seen the mechanism. You have seen the evidence. But if you apply it incorrectly, all of those benefits will not happen. It may even backfire. The biggest mistake people make is trying to fast as long as possible. But the body does not reward extremes. It responds to consistent repetition. The goal is not fasting. The goal is creating a period each day where insulin is low enough. That is what activates fat-burning autophagy, cellular repair. Most people are eating within a 14 to 16-hour window each day. You do not need to change your entire life. Just do one thing. Narrow your eating window. For example, eat dinner at 8 o'clock. Eat again at 8 o'clock the next morning. You just created 12 hours of fasting. No pressure. No extremes. As your body adapts, you can extend it to 14 hours, then 16 hours. This is the range where metabolic switching becomes stable. Autophagy has the chance to operate. No need for 24 hours. No need for extremes. Fasting creates the opportunity, but the result depends on how you break the fast. If you break your fast with refined sugar, ultra-processed foods, insulin will spike, and you go back to the starting point. Your first meal should include protein preserve muscle, include fiber stabilize, blood sugar, include healthy fats, prolong satiety. This helps insulin rise more slowly. The system remains stable. Fasting does not work in isolation. It is more powerful when combined with resistance training. Increases insulin sensitivity, adequate sleep, reduces cortisol. Light movement increases fat burning. Not everyone should apply it immediately. If you are pregnant, have serious medical conditions, or have issues with eating, you need to consult a professional first. You do not need to control everything. You only need to control when your body receives the store signal and when it is allowed to repair. If you have understood this far, try something very simple tonight. Eat a little earlier, and tomorrow morning, delay your first meal a little longer. No need to be perfect. Just start and observe what happens to your body. Your liver does not need anything added. It just needs a long enough window to do its job properly.